Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here. And in today's video, I am joined by none other than Max Wright, known as Contrarian Dude here on YouTube. We just had a conversation about Bitcoin and this correction over on his channel, and we want to continue that conversation here. If you want to see the first part of our conversation, hit the first link in the description. You can see everything we just discussed over on his channel. It was a fantastic conversation, and you're not going to want to miss it. How you doing, Max? I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me, mate.
Absolutely. So guys, we are going to talk about a bunch of different things. We're going to talk about what do we do next now that Bitcoin has gone through this massive correction. Should we be cycling to alts? Should we be cycling out of Bitcoin? Should we be taking profits? Should we be taking money out of the market, looking to buy in? We're going to talk next steps here, and you're going to walk away from this video hopefully with a much better understanding of what your next action steps ought to be. So Max, I know you have a lot of opinions about where Bitcoin is and where you think Bitcoin is going and how we might want to view this correction. So what are you thinking is going on here, and where do you think we're going next?
Yeah, so I am looking at, ultimately, I think this is probably, for all the reasons we discussed in the previous video, ultimately, I think that Bitcoin is, this is not the end of the crypto. I don't think we're in the crypto winter. I don't think so. I think this is a pit stop in the middle of the crypto summer. I still think we're going to see all-time highs in Bitcoin before the end of the year. And I want us to be, I'm looking for a good place to get into Bitcoin or altcoins. We'll come to that in just a second. But ultimately, it's like, okay, where is a good entry point? And I'm looking for some kind of confirmation that this is the end, because you don't want to catch a falling knife. You want to wait for confirmation that this is over. I would prefer to, not buy the absolute bottom. You can always try and buy the bottom and you just, oh, I think it's the bottom, go ahead and buy. And then it wasn't. I'm waiting for confirmation that it wasn't the bottom. That means I'm not going to get the absolute bottom price, but I'm going to have a reasonable amount of certainty that that was the end. And now it's time to move forward on with the rest of the crypto summer. So I've got my kind of things that I'm kind of looking at, Jeb. I'm happy to go in them, but did you want to kick it off? What are you kind of looking at?
Yeah, so I really love what you just said there. What you're talking about is risk to reward ratio. Even though you're not going to get the exact bottom, you're going to minimize that risk, and it's going to increase that risk to reward ratio. We got to keep that in mind while we're trading, guys. Trying to buy the exact bottom is almost never going to work out for you. Of course, those guys that bought it exactly $30,000 or exactly 1985 on Ethereum are going to be in a lot of profit already, but you can't really do that very well without the benefit of hindsight. So that's a great point. But I really think, and I know this is something that you've talked about, that a lot of the value that is in the altcoins right now is about to get shaken out and it's going to move back into Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been in a massive rally over the last 12 months, but the altcoins have been in an even bigger one. I believe Binance posted over on their Twitter account how Bitcoin's market dominance had gone from 70 to 40, and it had two pie charts of January and right now, how Bitcoin's market dominance had lost a ton to altcoins, and especially that other category outside of Ethereum and outside of Bitcoin. There's been a lot of value flowing into those altcoins, and right now, because there's so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market, unfortunately, I don't think people should be, but people are losing sight of the prize, the long-term perspective of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They're getting very fearful. And what happens when you get very fearful? You run to something that you feel is more secure. People in the cryptocurrency market feel that Bitcoin is the most secure of all the cryptocurrencies. So I personally think that what we're going to see happen, and then we can talk about what we might want to do about this. I think personally what we're going to see happen is a lot of value is going to move from those altcoins to Bitcoin as people are like, oh my gosh, so a massive crash can happen. These moon coins, these altcoins can't just moon forever. Maybe I should be looking at something with some actual intrinsic fundamentals. And keeping in mind also that all of that selling that occurred, that's taking profit out of the market, or taking profit or taking losses. The point is taking money out of the market. A lot of the value that was in the market when we just lost nearly $1 trillion of market capitalization is sitting on the sidelines right now. And I have the question, where is that $1 trillion? Is it still sitting on the sidelines? Did people go out and buy Lambos with it? Probably a little bit of both, but there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines because that money had to go somewhere. And some people are going to be looking at, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at, where do I buy in? How do I make the most of this opportunity? Because it's the smart investors that realize that a 2008 in the financial markets, or a March 2020 in the crypto markets, or today in the crypto markets really pose a massive opportunity for anyone who wants to buy in low and make the most profits in the long run. So I personally think there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines waiting for entries, and I think a lot of those people are going to be looking in the direction of Bitcoin. But I know you have an opinion on that, Max. What do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely do. And if it's okay, I might go ahead and share my screen here. So hopefully this is coming up in the video. People can see that. But this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And you can see Bitcoin dominance is a history of just yinning and yanging and staying within a range. I mean, it's obviously within a range. It's between 0 and 100, right? It's all the Bitcoin dominance would be. And for those of you who don't understand, Bitcoin dominance is the total market cap of Bitcoin over the top, so divided by the total market cap of all of crypto. And when Bitcoin is roaring and altcoins are slumped, then you'll see that we're up high up here. And when it's the reverse is happening, altcoins have had their day and Bitcoin hasn't been performing, then this Bitcoin dominance falls. And so what we'll see here, I want to draw your attention back to this section here. So Bitcoin dominance was trending in this channel right through here with this denoted by the blue lines. And then right down here, I made a video saying, listen, we've come to the bottom of this channel. I suspect what's going to happen is we've just enjoyed this altcoin season. This was the first DeFi altcoin season going back a little while back. And when we hit down there, I said, listen, I think we're probably at the end of this altcoin season and Bitcoin is going to have a run. But what we're going to need to do is we have to break this level of resistance. So on its way down, you'll notice that it bounced here, came under, and then it was resistance, 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 resistance. And eventually it broke through this, confirming the end of this altcoin cycle. And the rest was history. We rode up and had a massive Bitcoin cycle. Bitcoin went parabolic and left altcoins behind. When we were up here, I was looking at this chart and said, okay, I think because this is an important point here, it was the previous all-time high. So I said, guys, here's what I suspect. I suspect we're at the end of this cycle, of this Bitcoin cycle, and we're probably going to go into altcoin season. So I started rotating my investments from Bitcoins into altcoins. And you can see here, we had this similar kind of a journey where we have this little bit of thing here, we come back into it, start playing around, and eventually break out. And we came all the way back down now, all the way back to this previous low here with Bitcoin dominance at 40. And so now my hypothesis is it's most likely it'll be at 40, but it could go down to 35. But what we're looking for is confirmation. On the way down, it was a pretty straight run down, but we did find some resistance here at this 46 level. We bounced up to this 46, confirmed it as resistance. Now, if Bitcoin comes on down here, Bitcoin dominance comes down and plays around, when we break out, if we break out, which one we almost certainly will eventually, break out of this 46, I think that will be confirmation that altcoin season has finished and Bitcoin is about to turn around and leave altcoins behind. So I am slowly but surely trickling into Bitcoin from altcoins and rotating into that asset class because I think this Bitcoin dominance chart is one of the most important ones to tell us, do we want to be in Bitcoin? Do we want to be in altcoins? And you want to be, trying to hedge your bets and predict the opposite side of this scenario. What do you think, Jeb?
No, I think it's brilliant. It's something that I've been talking about, not in quite as much detail as you just did, but it's something I've been talking about on the channel over here is that we've seen that Bitcoin had a massive amount of market dominance there for a while. But if you remember back to the beginning of 2017, it was sitting at like 85 and then it jumped off a cliff because we had the ICO craze and all of that going on in 2017 that started right before I got into the space. And we were seeing the exact same thing go on lately. A lot of people were wondering, well, why is Bitcoin only setting $2,000 all-time highs above where it was before? Why isn't Bitcoin rallying? Well, it's because everybody's talking about the altcoins. The altcoins have all of the attention, so I think that's really good. But I love your prediction that the altcoin value is going to start moving back into Bitcoin. I think now the question is, what do we do? Like you said, you're talking about cycling out of altcoins into Bitcoin, and I think that's actually very smart. I personally have been very heavily exposed to Bitcoin this entire time, so I don't have a lot of cycling to do because I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I don't claim to be. I don't think that's the way you want to look at it. Personally, I think that there is a lot of value in some of the altcoins like Ethereum and Cardano and a few of the others, but I think this is going to be the time that Bitcoin takes its charge back and starts rallying. And quite frankly, I think that's going to be very good for the space because over the last 6 months, we've had a lot of people join the cryptocurrency space that frankly don't understand Bitcoin and they're looking at these little pump and dump coins. And I don't think it's very healthy for the cryptocurrency space when there's a ton of value in a Dogecoin and a ton of value in a SafeMoon and a ton of value in Sheeb and all these little joke coins, because unfortunately people get in them and they think they're going to get rich and they don't understand the fundamental reason that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology exists in the first place. So I think we're going to start seeing, along with that shift from altcoins into Bitcoin, I think, and hopefully I will be right on this, that we're going to see a cultural and a perception shift away from, oh my gosh, which altcoin can I get rich off of, to wow, Bitcoin has a real mission, it has a real project, it has a real purpose, and it really can help to make the world a better place. And I think the next season that we're going to see here is not necessarily that the altcoins are going to get slaughtered and Bitcoin's going to just dominate them. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a little bit of a mixture of that. We're going to see a lot of people moving away from these crappy altcoins that don't have a project behind them into coins that have an actual project. I think Bitcoin is going to be gobbling up a lot of market dominance, but maybe not so much from ones like a Cardano, maybe a little bit more from an Ethereum. But I think a lot of the value and the dominance that's going to be going into Bitcoin is going to be coming from these little crap coins, as people call them, into Bitcoin, because a lot of people have gotten burned. But I think the people that are still here that got burned, a lot of them left, but the people that are still here realize, okay, wait a second, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, these big dogs are the ones that I need to be in. I'd be very interested over on CoinMarketCap to watch the dominance chart of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and the other category. I think Cardano and Ethereum are going to lose some dominance to Bitcoin, but I think the biggest loser of dominance is going to be that other category that represents cryptocurrencies outside of the top 10. What do you think about that?
I think you have absolutely nailed it. The DeFi craze I 100% get. I think there's a lot of value there in DeFi.
Agreed.
The NFT craze, people went ballistic over that one. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't get that. But your sentiment about Dogecoin and some of the value that went to there, looking to get rich quick, that was really, really unhealthy for the space.
Yeah, it was.
Agree with all of that. And so, yeah, I noticed Bitcoin, Dogecoin was down like 47% yesterday. I'm sure it's rebounded a lot today, but
yeah,
it got hit big for sure. And I think in terms of tying back into something that we had in the first part of this conversation over on my channel, I think you very, very eloquently talked about the rotation of altcoin profits into Bitcoin. I don't want to elaborate on that because you nailed it. I think there's another vector that needs, actually another two vectors that need to be considered. If you'll remember, Michael Saylor in February had a big, it was an event, it was an online event, basically handing all institutions the playbook for how institutions get involved in cryptocurrency. For those of you who don't know, it's quite difficult. If you're a publicly listed company, there's all these charters and rules and regulations and board members, and the whole board's got to get educated on crypto, and that takes months. And then you've got to figure out custodian, who has the keys? Do we have multi-signatory keys? Is it the CEO? Is it the CFO? Do one each have? There's a whole headache that needs to be solved for institutions to hold crypto. And that process takes around 6 to 12 months. Now, what's really fun is for individuals like us, we can be up and running in like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And we can get on exchange, send down our utility bill and whatever else, and start trading serious volume on these exchanges like Coinbase and Kraken. For institutions, that delay is about 6 to 12 months. And two things, these institutions, they don't FOMO into things. They don't do that. These are experienced traders that manage billions of dollars. They wait for dips. They wait for an event like this to reset the market. And they think, okay, now we can come in and buy. So we've got this 6 to 12 month delay from when a lot of institutions were exposed back in February. So I think we're going to have an enormous amount of institutional capital come in the second half of this year. At the same time, we've got this rotation from alts into Bitcoin coming in. And I think we're setting up for a 2013-like massive dip in the middle of the year and an absolutely explosive second part of the year. And if I could introduce a third topic, or rather be a merciless tease about the third topic, I think there's a new project out there that, in my opinion, is the biggest thing since Bitcoin. I haven't been this excited since I saw Bitcoin. And I think it's going to completely change the market, and it's going to completely change the Bitcoin dominance chart and what Bitcoin does in the future. Because right now, Bitcoin is kind of excluded. If you want to do anything with DeFi, Bitcoin's not really participating. You can't do it. You can do it with wrapped Bitcoins, and you can do it with some clunky stuff. But there's a new project out there which all of a sudden allows the DeFi world to interact with Bitcoin. And now the $1 trillion market cap, although it might not still have that market cap, but the $1 trillion plus or minus of Bitcoin market cap can now enter the DeFi world. And the reason to leave Bitcoin and go into the Cardanos and the Ethereums is going to be massively reduced. And so I'll be a tease here, but I've made a 3-part video series explaining the opportunity and how it works and what it is. And it's all loaded up in my YouTube studio, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to be releasing it in today or the next day, tomorrow or the day after. So highly recommend, head over to my channel, watch the first part of this interview and hit subscribe. You are going to want to see that. And that will be the third vector driving towards a massive Bitcoin season coming up in the next few months and towards the end of the year.
Guys, for everybody who's worried about Bitcoin right now, might actually be the last time in the last several years that you would want to be worried about Bitcoin. I think the future looks brighter for this space than it ever has in the entire 4 years that I've been here. And Max, you might agree with me. You've been here for since what, 2012, 2013?
2012, I bought my first Bitcoin.
2012. There you go, man. Yeah, look at here, guys. The videos that he's releasing sound very interesting. Make sure to click the link to the very first episode, the very first part of what we just talked about here. Go subscribe to his channel, Contrarian Dude, over on YouTube. Let's see if we can't get him to 50,000 subscribers. He's not far away with how much growth is going on in the cryptocurrency space and over on YouTube. I know we can do it. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He's got some great takes, and I wouldn't want you to miss them. So make sure to go and subscribe to him. Smash the like button on this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to our channel, too, if you're new here. Guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Make sure to comment down below what you thought, by the way. I want to hear your takes on everything that we discussed here. But anyway, guys, like I said, that is going to do it for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.